What's going on YouTube? It's Ron comes in handy, the tradesmen services and solutions. Got another video for you guys. Rebuilding the deck. Here's some before and after pictures. So this is a client that I've had ever since the start of my handyman journey. I have a few videos of me doing work on his place. So he called me for this one. This is probably like around in August or July. And you know, he's like, hey, yeah, the back patio deck is like caving in, so can you take a look at it? So sure. And sure enough, there was some boards that were pretty old, so I ripped those out, and the studs underneath, or the beams underneath, they were in pretty good condition. So what I'm doing here is that even the nails in there didn't come out with the boards, so I'm trying to get the boards out, and if I can't get them out, I just hammer them inside the board. But I prefer, even though it might take longer, I prefer to take the nails out. Some people would just cut them off. Some people would just hammer them in, but you know, I like to take them out. That's just the way I do it. The one thing I should have done better with this job, I've worked on like repairing a deck, just like a few boards, but we're repairing like the whole board, not the whole board, but the whole deck like this. I could have done some things better. One thing is preparation. Have all the material that you need. And what I messed up on here was that I was only gonna replace a few boards. So I wrote down just how many boards I needed to replace. But then I end up like, you know what, let me just do it right. Let me just do the whole top layer. And so I didn't realize that until I was like 3/4 of the way done. I was like, oh man, I need like 3 or 4 more boards. But it was pretty easy. You know, you just measure and cut in. Probably the most difficult part was the one cutting where this rail's at. But I wouldn't even say it's difficult. It's just an extra step you have to take. But it's pretty easy. You see me here. I took measurements on the opening I need to put in this board, and then it just slides right in. And then, you know, just make sure you nail it or screw it on the beams to put it in there. I did offer him to do the whole deck, not just like the top layer, just not the boards. He's like, no, everything else looks fine. Just do what needs to be done. I was like, all right, cool. And you know, this guy, he's a very generous man. I really appreciate and value this client. He has this house right here is a group home for like for women. I guess like troubled women. I don't know if they've been in violence before or if they're recovering, but this is a group home for them. And he also has another group home for men. And then he also has a like a vet hospital for animals, you know. So I really appreciate him. He does a lot for his community. He's giving back. And so even though I worked with him for about like 3 years, I finally saw him for the first time maybe a few months ago when I was doing a roof job for him. And he wanted me to FaceTime him, and you know, I started to think he wasn't real because he has such a generic name. And then when I finally like FaceTime him, I was like, oh yeah, you look like your name. I don't know if you ever met people like that. You're like, oh yeah, you look like this, or you don't look like this name. But we talked, finally FaceTimed. We put a face to the name, same thing. And yeah, I've never had a problem with payment before. I've always came when he asked me to. He appreciates my work. He knows I take pride in my work and I give him good value and quality. So that's why he always sticks to me. I'm not too far from these properties either. I'm probably like 15 minutes away from all of them.
All right, guys, we are done. It took me a while. You see the sun's going down, but I had to keep going back to get more material. Ran out of the screws, and then I wrote the wrong amount of 2x6s I was supposed to get. Put that right there. And put this, actually I think this one's in here. Yeah, this is redwood. I did ask the guy if he wanted pressure treated, and he said no, use redwood, even though this was like $7 more. He wanted this right here, and I couldn't find this right here. This is a 2x8 in redwood. But this is not bad at all. Oh, you know what? I have to put this back on right here. I have to put that back on. Well, yeah, we are all done. I broke up as much wood as I can, and I put it in the green bin, but I'm gonna take the rest of this to my house and dump it in my bin, or we'll go to the dump. And yeah, we're all done. How much do you think this job costs right here? What do you think? How much would you charge? Put down in the comments below. Make sure to subscribe, like, and I'll see you guys next time.